film is great because it makes you feel closer to other people, I think. It makes you feel like, it makes you experience other people's lives.
Fashion says that you can be somebody completely different. My Dior is my Dior, is my Dior, is my Dior.
That on this one, on Dior and I really try to present a view of fashion that is very different from the way it's usually portrayed in the media, and very far from the gossip, very far from the glamour and the, you know, the red carpet. It's just about work, really.
Alors tout va être prêt demain?
Ouais. Il est bloqué.
I try to be very receptive to my own sort of heartbeat in a way. You know, like you watch something or you read something and suddenly you're excited. You're excited about it, and you have to recognize that, and and that's how I work. And and then the analysis comes later. You know, the editing comes later. But first, you have to sort of grab onto like what really makes your heart beat a little faster. And so whether it's like a book that you're reading, you know about Christian Dior, or an anecdote that you've read, that, or someone doing something in front of your eyes and in front of your camera, you just, I think I have to be very, receptive to the way I feel.
Je voulais dire la bienvenue à Raf.
Raf wasn't the obvious candidate. People said, oh, he's a minimalist.
I feel very humbled to stand here.
I find the legacy of Dior rather challenging.
Ooh la 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 la.
We wanted the film to be sort of the story of an encounter between, you know, Raf and the Atelier, and them warming up to each other, really. And Raf is quite a shy person who's, I want it to be really a sort of coming of age story in a sense, you know, like him. I had the feeling that this Dior show, this new job, was going to be a radical change in his life, and I wanted to portray that. And from the Atelier's point of view, you know, it took them a little bit of time just to get to know each other. It's normal when you're put together in a situation with new people. And so, yeah, I think it's sort of a record of what the experience actually was, of just discovering somebody and warming up to somebody who doesn't give right away, but he's much more private in that sense.
Couture, c'est nouveau pour moi.
On va l'aider.
Oh, on va se régaler.
I have an idea, but it's very extreme.
He has to pay respect to the legacy of Dior, but at the same time he needs to liberate himself from that and create his own collection. I feel like my process is very similar. Yeah, with my subjects, I have to. It's a push and pull a little bit, and yeah, I think it's when it's successful, when you're happy with the way it turned out. I think people are grateful usually that and understand the process.
I want it to be dynamic because I find women very dynamic. How fast can they make a jacket like that in black?
Oh no!
I wanted to look at fashion in a sort of realistic sense, and I didn't want to reinforce certain cliches or basically I'm, you know, in the era of social media and instant celebrity and reality TV, documentary has become a little bit something else, I think, and you have to sort of acknowledge that in a certain sense, and I think my way of acknowledging it was to, and I was lucky to find Raf Simons as the main subject, because he very much encapsulates that in his refusal of being public, you know. But the film sort of goes in that same direction in not focusing on, what a lot of people think fashion is, which is, I don't know, beautiful clothes, the red carpet, PR people running around, screaming, or, like just the cliches. And to refuse that and to look in the other direction, to look at really just people who don't necessarily, whose life doesn't revolve around images or a public self.
Je repars à zéro.
There was not one dress here, not one.
They kept on telling us like who was coming to the show and everything, and somehow we were not really that interested whether, like Sharon Stone was going to show up or not. It didn't matter. We were really interested in whether Raph was going to show some vulnerability, or whether, like Monique was going to cry during the show, or, that was what we really looked at for. Last night we had the premiere with, of course, because it's a premiere, you have like a lot of fashion celebrities, or and to have them sit for 90 minutes and identify with the head seamstress, I think is wonderful.
I never give up until the first girl is on stage. It's gonna look like Versailles. It's insane.
Il y en a c'est dans l'alcool, moi c'est dans les bonbons.
I almost have the sense that I participated in making the collection with them. You really feel like, at least when I film, I feel total empathy for the world, the characters that I film, and so yes, it's life, but very intense for for a very short period of time, and then obviously the editing period sort of makes you reflect on that, and that's when the growing sort of happens. Yeah, I don't know, I'm not very articulate when it comes to growing, but I really sense that, yeah, each film that I make really, in a way, is a way of exploring a certain aspect of my personality that I don't know yet. So, I don't know, if you're cynical, you could say it's a little bit vampiristic, but I think it's more, something closer to empathy, I think. But yeah, I think there's something beautiful about sort of diving into a world and learning something about yourself in the process.